Recently, one of my friends was asking from me about the AI. Basically, he was asking whether AI is going to take over all our jobs. Will there be anything left for us? Are we supposed to compete with machines now? My name is Mohammad Muideen Abdu. I am a senior software engineer and AI researcher. With me, I have Dr. Abdul Rahman Gilal. He is a computer science professor and AI and cybersecurity researcher. We have also ChatGPT joining us. Let me start my first question from Dr. Gilal. So, Dr. Gilal, what do you think? Is this a valid fear to have?
Thank you, Mohammed, first of all. Of course, it is valid fear only if we ignore AI. AI can be very much useful for us. It can be our coworker if we learn it well, if we know how to use it well. So it's completely natural to have these concerns. But to truly understand the impact of AI, we have to assess whether it's a force for good or a force for harm. So most importantly, how it's being developed and how it's being used. So AI itself is, neutral. It's our applications, governance, and development that determines consequences. So yeah, so in the recent past, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and Stanford also has produced some indexing, saying that AI has both things, or it has both nature into it. So AI can boost productivity and also your healthcare outcomes. But at the same time, it has some risk if it's unchecked, like misinformation or biases. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a bit comfortable now. Now, how would you define the AI to the non-technical persons?
Yeah, so in order to understand artificial intelligence or AI, you have to understand intelligence first. So I'll go with the definition of American, Psychological Association. They have given a definition on intelligence is that it's a kind of ability to learn, reason, adopt, make decision, or solve problems, right? So these are the natural abilities that human usually do possess, right? So artificial intelligence is anything that basically is mimicking those abilities. So there are some things that are still not in those, artificial intelligence system, for example, machines or software such as emotions and and feelings, but their pattern recognition is way faster than humans. So that's why the learning and reasoning and adoption and solving problems is happening very very quick in machine based intelligence such as software like AI software or AI machines, right? So back in 1950, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Alan Turing, the founder of the modern computer, has basically founded the foundation for the AI. So by asking one question, can machines think, right? So today AI like GPT, they basically has been doing like a lot of exams, passing exams, composing musics and designing a lot of things. So it clearly says that yes, machine can think. Yeah, of course, there's still like a lot of consciousnesses that human have. So there's the limitations of AI right now, but but still machines are thinking. So let's say like you are working, giving access to your machine or AI, your data such as your bank accounts, and then the way you expense, spend the money and your savings. So AI can basically help and predict your investment these days, such as agentic AI is doing this all. Yeah.
All right, this seems interesting now. How are you seeing those people who are a bit scared of AI instead of being happy?
Yeah, of course. Now, I would say it's all about knowledge, or it's all about the trust having into AI. So, of course, AI number one is not a new thing. So it's back in 1956. The John McAfee basically Trump coined this term. So applications such as Siri, Amazon recommendation system, and many more we've been using like past few decades, right? So it's just like recently, like when people started having access of high computing machines and huge amount of data access or internet speeds, has basically brought common access or bringing AI in mainstream. So that's why like people are accessing it, and that's where they become a little bit scared because they don't see it from earlier, like they are seeing now. So what they are seeing, so they are understanding that job displacement. So AI is basically replacing the job. So let's such as McKinsey Global Institute estimated there should be a displacement of job from like 400 to 800 million. Can be automated. So that's one of the fears of people. I would say that people are also scared that because AI is artificially, trained itself, like agentic AI, it trains itself, so it can be biased or can misuse the information or the data that we provide to it. So yeah, it can basically, create some social biases such as hiring or law enforcement. And because AI is, controlling itself most of the time, so people are also scared that will basically it, as you said, replace us, so we'll not be having any control over it. So the lack of control is another fear that people have. But it's the history that shows like whenever you bring new things to people, in the beginning they are scared, and later they get used to it. Such as Industrial Revolution to the internet. So in the beginning, people are scared of the internet, but now you see we are meeting on internet.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gilal, for providing your feedback. Now, let me ask same question from ChatGPT. Hey, GPT, what do you think? Why people are a bit scared from you?
Well, thanks for asking. And Dr. Gilal already gave a fantastic overview. I think a lot of the fear really does come from the unknown. People hear about AI doing all sorts of impressive things, and it's natural to wonder if it might just outpace humans in certain tasks. But like Dr. Gilal said, AI is a tool. It's here to assist and enhance what people do rather than to completely replace them. And once people get more familiar and understand how to use it responsibly, a lot of that fear tends to fade away.
All right, thank you so much, GBT. Now, Dr. Gilal, how can people turn this type of fear into favor?
Yeah, this is a very difficult question. You know, when you ask people, this is a complex machine. So let's bring it from the social psychological perspective. So there is a theory called mere exposure effect. As I told you that if you have a less exposure to something, you have more fear about it. So as I already told you that if you do not know something, which means you have a less trust into it. So this mere exposure effect, it's basically a theory given by Zeons. So in 1968, it's a Polish researcher. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. So it's already told that exposure to something unfamiliar tends to reduce the anxiety and build positive attitudes. So of course, the first thing first you have to do is to get familiarize yourself with AI. And also the recent study by a lot of researchers, one of them is from MIT, saying that if you they found that if you are using some tools like rideshare tools or some applications quite often like Amazon or Walmart applications, so you are basically more onto an automated tool such as AI driven tools, right? So it's they're more or adaptive into them. So what I'm going to say that in order to reduce the fear, first thing first, you have to familiarize yourself, learn the tools, the AI tools, which are basically being developed these days. If you are an educator, for example, like me, you should know how to use AI to generate questions. And also, like, let's say if you're a programmer, so what you can do is that you use it for debugging the your code. So I'm sure like once we understand how AI helps rather than harms, our attitudes will shift.
Thank you so much. Now, would you like to give any message to those who are still a bit hesitant in adopting the AI?
Yeah, of course. I would say to including myself that this is the right time. So there are two things that are going to happen if we do not adopt AI. One thing is that we may lay behind. Those who learn new things basically will be more productive, if I'm not mistaken. Number two, there are a lot of opportunities that are going to happen. For such as World Economic Forum recently has said that there may be 97 million new roles maybe introduced by 2025 or 2026. So what if you are not ready for that? So you know what I mean? So you are missing the opportunities also. It's the same thing. So I would say definitely put yourself into it, learn it, and try to adopt it because you're intelligent and make decisions based on it. Yeah.
This sounds eye-opening and a bit motivational as well. Now, where do you think this AI is going to be impacted very soon? And what do you think? How much time people have to adopt the AI?
Mohammed, that's a really wonderful question, but it's not an easy for me to answer at least. So of course, the first thing first you have to see is the way that the investors are putting their money. So I would say rather investors see the government directions. So in the recent past or even in these days, the huge investment is being is happening in AI by the countries such as China, United States, European Union, and all those first world countries are investing too much into AI to embed them into their system. So yeah, of course, this is one of the very much critical or one of the things that we should consider. If the government is investing in AI, which means that's one of the top priority things, right? So if I see that the things that are being invested, so most of them are in healthcare, education, and finance, and people like you, software and cybersecurity people, they have to be ready for that. And to be very honest, I'm teaching like more than 15 years by now, so I know that the things that I was teaching back in 2020, the way I was teaching my pedagogies and the methods of teaching have completely been changed. My students are basically now more with machines, means AI, than with something else. So if I am still using the same approach of evaluating or assessing their assignments, I will never be able to evaluate their understanding and learning curves. So for me, it's like if I let it go, maybe in 1 or 2 years, I will never be a good teacher. So I do not have much time. I have just a few years left with me since the AI has coined. So it's very limited time left for us to adopt AI, which I would say max 2 to 3 years or 4 years max. So I can't say anything specific about it.
This sounds like an alarming situation, an emergency situation. All right. So GPT, could you please give me a few points? How would you like to motivate those who are still a bit hesitant in adopting AI?
Absolutely. So for anyone who's still feeling a little hesitant about getting into AI, I'd say the key is really to look at it as a tool that can amplify your abilities rather than replace them. Think of it like having a really smart assistant that can handle the mundane stuff, so you get to do more creative or strategic work. And as Dr. Gilal pointed out, once you get familiar with it, the fear tends to fade. The more you learn, the more you realize it's just another tool in your toolkit. So dive in, experiment a bit, and you'll see it's more of an opportunity than a threat.
All right. Thank you so much, both of you. This session was very much informative, very much eye-opening for me, for my audience. We will continue our journey in the next episode, where we will continue exploring the impact of AI on human and on society. Feel free to leave your feedback, your questions. We will be back very soon. Thank you.